Okay, so let's think about this. I am going to make it such that it uses the gradient set functionality to get a new gradient for every column of vertices. I'm not going to make it take some sort of estimate for the sake of speed. This is going to be figured out rarely enough, and it's probably still fast enough. Probably. Let's have a quick look at gradient set. Get gradient V, insert gradient, okay, all of these things seem fine. So what I want to do when I set the gradient is I want to go from left to right, top to bottom, filling in the color values, but I don't want to do it in that order because that would mean wasting time generating gradients one after the other and repeating, because if I work horizontally it means I'm getting a different gradient every time. If I work vertically I get one gradient, use it for the whole vertical column, then I go one along, use that gradient for the whole vertical column. So I want to work x to y, x to y. I want to work along the x direction, but inside that work up the y direction or down the y direction. So excuse me, let's say I have what do I have really? What I'm trying to imagine is the color sort of space position. So I'll say color x float equals 0.0. The gradient set should allow me to just say give me a gradient 0 to 1, and whatever the state of the gradient set is, it will give me a gradient. Even if there's just a single white value, a single gradient with a single value, it should still feed back an actual gradient. If I coded it correctly, that was my intention, and if I haven't, then I've got to go and change it so it does. So it's like color x. Color y I probably won't have to store because it's just something I'm going to be sampling. Well, we will see. And I'll also say step x float equals 1.0 divided by columns. Now, is it columns plus 1 or anything? Because if I think about my thing here, yeah, no, it's just divided by columns, because in this case I start at 0 and I want to go to 0.5, then I want to go to 1. I hope all that's going to work out okay. 0, then 0.5, then 1. That is 1 divided by 2 columns to give a step of that. But I do have to remember that I'm going columns plus 1. Okay. Yeah, so that equals step 1.0 divided by the float of columns. And step y equals 1.0 divided by the float of rows. And actually I will have color y. Then, I'm just spelling all this out again. I'm going to say vert x int equals 1 and vert y int equals 0, and vert y int equals 0. I'm gonna go. It's made more annoying by the fact that for the purposes of clarity, the gradients themselves run bottom to top. And of course, I'm drawing this thing top to bottom. I don't really need to do that though, do I? Already I'm just setting the verts in this mechanical way. I could say cy minus cell height. And then you start at the bottom left. No, I really don't like doing that, and I think I'd rather inside set gradient just deal with the fact that I do 1 minus a value or something like that. So what I want to do is I want to step through the vertices in the y direction until I reach color y. Actually will start at 1 until I reach the bottom of the rows. Vert y will start at 0. And I also want to work, so I think I will, okay, no, yeah, because I'm doing it this way, I will say I want to work along the columns as well. And if I get all the sums right, it should just work out. If I say repeat, and at this stage there should definitely be 4 verts. Oh no, well, 4 vertices, so 8 items in vert. Repeat until Vx is greater than or equal to columns. And in here I'm saying repeat until Vy is greater than or equal to rows. And in here I'm saying, well, I'll define it out here. Local I int equals 0. But in here I'm saying I equals Vx plus Vy times columns. So if the x is 0 and the y is 0, the index I'm going to refer to, oh, I need to multiply that by 2, mind you. God damn. The index I'll refer to is at the exact top left. If x is 1 and y is 0, then I equals 2. However many columns there are, multiplied by 0 is 0, so it's just 1 times 2. Places me right at the start of the pair of indexes that describe the... No, in this case I don't multiply by 2. God damn, because I'm going through the colours. So that's okay, still. So now I know I, which gives me the color. Right, so in here, sorry, okay, and I'm just thinking this through as I go. I want to say local current gradient equals gs get gradient color x. just make sure that getGradient returns a new gradient. Yep, there's a new gradient. Sets it all up and spits it out. And that's okay, that will then be discarded next. Oh no, actually, I take that back, it doesn't equal that. It equals null just now. But in here, it does equal that. And then I say local current call. Now I have a feeling, and I will do this new G color, because I have a feeling that when you sample a gradient, you do it by something like set color, yeah, out color and a value, or set to top. Interesting. No, I use it automatically. Fine. Set color. So current color equals a G color. Then I say current, no, I say current gradient set color current color at color Y. And then I say colors I equals current color AV, which is like, yeah, it's the unsigned int that describes the color with the alpha channel blended in. You can just get V for current for the, which gives you an unsigned int, but doesn't have the alpha channel blended quite correctly, and I've never quite got my head around it, but if it works, I go with it. I did say earlier in an earlier video, purely picked up by reading all the Mojo source code. Then I say color Y plus equals step Y. This should be until rows plus 1, and this should be until columns plus 1. I suppose I could say until, you know, it's great. I'll make it that. Because then here I say color Y equals 0.0, vert Y equals 0, vert X plus equals 1. And here I say vert X equals 0. No, I do not. I go through all that, then I come back here and do it again, but with the next X. Then I continue until Vx escapes. Then I look at that and I say, yes, it is good. And I think, no, I know myself. It is bad. Let's say you're in a situation where you say new. You set a gradient with a nothing, you get, well, you set size, width and height, right, columns, rows and columns, okay. So you call SetSize with your rows and columns. SetSize takes a look at your rows and columns, and let's say you've said you want one row, one column, 10 by 10. Cell width is width divided by 1, and 1 means cell width is equal to the width. current cell is 0. Is that what that is? Current cell? No. Current column. Yeah. I should improve that. Current x, current y, int. That is, so what exactly happens in here? This, an I is 0, so it immediately sets the first one. Increases x by cell width, this by 1, and I plus 2. But, oh, I didn't set up. Well, no, I did in new verts numv times 2, numv being, okay, so you got 1, 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 8 verts. Well, 8 values in verts, but 4 verts. So this, so even with a single gradient, this says vy is greater than rows plus 1. Rows and columns are 1. I think I'm making a mistake here. It's not greater than or equal to columns, it's greater than or equal to columns plus 1. Because I'm setting vert positions. Yeah. Okay. Well, you know, this doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Well, it does make a lot of sense. I don't believe it is working, but let's just have a little go. Let's go to the gradient button and say that one of the things the gradient button possesses. What a strange bunch of stuff I've decided. It looks like I was planning to do something weird with it. But never mind. Yeah. Does the gradient button extend? Just a gadget. Oh, yeah. That should really work. I'm going to check up on that. I don't think the gradient button works, and I'm going to check up on it anyway. Color, I don't know if it needs a color, to be fair. I don't think it needs that. You don't call it with a color. No, and that doesn't really happen. Color, no. And here, no. Man, yeah, I'm seeing my problem here. What did I do with bloody color button? No, it also just extends gadget. Well, with color button it was a bit simpler. Okay, so what do I need to do instead? I think that I actually just set all completely normal. In fact, I do. I set all to be normal except for in. CSet, I'm not going to bother with a CSet, that's not a thing I need. In fact, I don't need any of this. I don't need color. I don't need border size. All of this I will call setup with fact, I'll just I do this, then I call. Okay. What the hell? God damn it. Border, comma, border. I hate not being able to remember stuff like this, but what on earth is the default borders in a gadget? Not that one. Oh, come on, you just went there. There. Border set. Okay, it's minus. Oh, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, fine. Border. Actually, this is just going to be 1.0, 1.0, 1.0, 1.0, comma, costume cos d normal, and costume state held equals cos d in normal. Okay, so this makes it look like a normal button. Basically, that's the two things. It means most of its costumes. When you call setup, this thing at the end is what it'll apply, is the costume it'll apply to most of its states. To all of its states, in fact. Possibly with the exception of inactive. I hope so. I hope I was clever enough to pick up on that, but I might not have been. I might have to fill in that state here as well. In fact, I probably will. I bet I did in the color button. Anyhow. That's fine. Size 50, eh? That seems like total crap. Property text, return text value equals that. Huh, yeah, okay. Man. I really don't like the fact I've done that, but anyway. Let's finish resize repositioning the text. Right, okay, first thing I have to think about. So I'm getting really, really distracted here. Gradient button. That's it. Then set gradient. Oh no, it does need one thing. It needs a gradient field. Border size. Field. Like, why am I'm so... I don't even know what I'm using border size for. Alright, okay, it's used inside there. Whatever. Grr. I'll just call it G field. Gradient field equals new gradient field. And I'll just remind myself, oh no, I can't really do that. Because it's got to have width, height, columns, rows. Okay, no, that's fine. New. So it just equals none. And in here I say G field equals new gradient field of now. Okay. That border size thing. I will see. We'll call FW equals self face width, comma face height, float equals self face height, face width, comma, face height. And I will make it 2 columns and 2 rows. And it calls a finish resize to position the thing, but I guess that what I would do is I will say G field set size to be face width and face height. So actually I don't need to do that set size before. I'm not setting the number of columns. All I need to do is, well, I don't do a set size, do I? I just create it. Never mind. Okay. So all this is doing is passing the message on. And finish draw just needs to G field draw at face left, comma, face right. Now, this bit is all wrong. First off, no, face top. First off, why the heck did the text size get so small? When I'm requesting 50, target text size equals font medium. Text is one thing, target text size is another. Set text size, target text size equals S. Finish what's the problem here? Can't find an overload for draw with that. Good question. I've never actually written the draw. Good point. Okay. Dink-a-dink, ring-a-dink, dink-a-dink, dink-a-dink. Before I just do that, I want to figure out where on earth I set the text size, because I do something stupid. Text get width for sizes greater than face width. New text size equals that. If new text size is greater than text than face height, new text size equals face height. Ah, okay, face height has the border size thing added in. I think I'm just going to say face height. This is the thing that's restricting it a lot. And there's another problem with it, which is it's just being drawn incorrectly. I want to draw it 4 times. I'm just drawing it really, really weird. Now I want to draw it 5 times. 4 times black and 1 time white. And it is x minus 1, x plus 1.0 if you insist. You don't insist actually, but I will. Y minus 1.0, y plus 1.0. That may change slightly. I'm going to toy with these little outline things. So now I need G field draw to draw. And what G field draw is going to be a bit like is going to be one of these. What have I got? What's something similar? G draw. Doesn't need all that appalling trash. But it is going to make use of stuff inside GUI, which is interesting. Maybe I should. No, that's not what I want. that's a simple little one. Yeah, these things have to refer inside to the things that are inside GUI. That's okay though. It makes things a little bit of a palaver, but I don't really mind. So what exactly is it I'm about to do? I'm about to basically do something along these lines. Maybe something... Wow, I really make it pretty easy here. It'll be something similar actually to the code that I've already got. I do need the GUI image material uniforms, and I need a blend mode. Okay, it's going to be blend mode alpha. Oh gosh, it's hard to think about, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take this and I'm going to stick it in here, and I'm going to round it all out. And then I'm going to think about what it is I'm really doing, and this has already been 31 minutes. So I may be wrong about it running again today. But I'll say local cx, my cursor x equals x, and cy equals y. I probably don't need those. I could probably just use... No, I'm not going to do that. And am I storing a step x and step y? No, I just have a bunch of verts. Man. So, yeah, I remember this kind of thing. It's a bit of a pain. Local I unsigned int equals 0. Repeat until I is greater than or equal to verts yeah, verts length, except it's going to be CV current vert and current color. I am really going to spell this out. I know it's quite tedious, but just am I working through this the correct way? I'm not sure yet. Outside of here I'm going to start a new drop. I'm going to say gadget, canvas, new draw up, gadget shader, and GUI image square material uniforms, blend mode alpha, and the order is going to be 3 because it's triangles, and the count I'm going to do when I'm going to just figure it out at the right start, right at the start, and it's going to be called try count and unsigned int, and try count equals columns times rows times 2. Once the thing is created, it never changes the numbers of rows and columns. I can change that. I could have a set rows and columns, set detail or something. Okay, this should be a column. A column, a comma. Okay, so in here I'm saying a pair for each, inside each of these. I'm wanting to draw a pair of triangles. And I need to deduce what the, not deduce, yeah, kind of deduce what the indexes of those triangles are in the verts and the indexes in the colors. So, if I'm imagining myself at the top left with C, yeah, the current X, I don't even know if I need current X and current Y. No, I'm just like offsetting all these things by X and Y. Anyway, what really am I saying? I'm saying gadget, canvas, new vertex, okay, current vertex, no, verts, current vertex, comma, verts, current vertex plus 1 for the Y part of it, comma, no, okay, I need to make this more of a shorthand, and it needs to be in here, and it probably needs to be like a global. I don't know if I can make it a global. I'm not going to. I'm going to say field image gimage equals null, and in here I'm going to say image equals GUI image square, because actually this, this is a field, but it's a field which could have another little use. I should not forget it. Anyway, so I just have image, which is still unwieldy, but it's image x, comma, image y, comma, colors, current color, or cursor color. And then follows the normal information, which I don't make use of because I don't use the lighting, but also I do wonder if fiddling with the normal information would probably maybe help the appearance of some of the, I don't know how to describe it, the fact that I'm going to get bands across this thing. It might look pretty shoddy in a way, we'll see. Gadget, see, this, that, the next thing. So that's the top left of my first, that's the top left. Oh my goodness. Oh no, hang on. That's the top left of my first triangle. So now I want to add what I'm going to do first off is I'm going to make up a template to this, which is verts something else, image something else. It will always actually be x or y, whether or not it's x or x2 or y2, don't know. And colors of something, but that will be like CC plus something, or not. This also is this, and this, and this will almost always be CV plus something. this is not going to be quite like that. When I think about it, that's not going to be how it ends. Is it? Man, I'm getting a bit... Let me just imagine how this will work. So let's say I'm drawing I hate this. I hate it. I need to make something better. Oh, don't tell me. Okay. So I'm drawing a pair of triangles. And I have a single continuous list of entries. And this maybe is sort of being repeated like this. In this instance, maybe there'd be 3 columns, 3 rows. So that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc., etc. And I'm advancing, I hope, I intend to be, till CV equals verts length. And CV is going to increase by 2 each time. CV plus equals 2 to advance to the next vert. CC is going to advance by 1 each time to advance to the next color. So I'm working through the verts one by one because for every vert I have to draw this pair of triangles. But I don't want to actually get to the end of the verts because the verts end at 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and I want to get to vert 10 and I don't want to get to the end of every row. So first off, this needs x and y plus it. Man, there is it probably makes sense to... Does it really? Does it really? How much stuff, you know? Because basically what I'm going to end up doing here is something similar to as I was doing way back at the start of these videos, which is I made the snapping classes, figured out some of the pieces of information that were used very frequently in the snapping classes, and then just made them globals within the class, which I'm going to end up doing because these are going to be used all the time and every frame. And similarly for certain little bits of information I'll use to plot out where the corners of these things are. But time is getting on. I didn't get round to running it again. I don't feel too bad. It's come along okay. But I'll complete this little drawing routine and it will be running again next time.